The war between Russia and Ukraine rages on. In the latest, Russia launched 17 drones to attack Ukraine. Russia reportedly used Iran-made Shahid drones. Ukraine claims to have destroyed 14 of the 17 that were launched. The strategic Ukrainian port of Odessa was also targeted. No casualties have been reported. Russia has defended itself against criticism over its presidency of the United Nations Security Council. The country insisted that it will not abuse the position to defend its invasion of Ukraine. The Russian ambassador to the UN said, and I quote, "One thing is the national position, the second thing is the role of the presidency of the Security Council." Finland is all set to join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The country will join NATO as its 31st member. Russia's invasion of Ukraine prompted Finland to apply for NATO membership. Turkey and Hungary were the last two NATO members to approve Finland's bid to join the organization. With this, Finland's flag will be raised outside NATO headquarters in Brussels. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has said that his country will support Moldova against Russian threats. This comes after the former Soviet nation repeatedly said that it faces hybrid attacks from the Kremlin. Moldova's president met Scholz and Romania's president in Bucharest. Russia has denied causing any trouble in Moldova. Moldova is located between Romania and Ukraine. Lithuanian parliament has banned Russian nationals from purchasing real estate in the Baltic country. The decision has been taken citing risks to national security. The ban will also apply to Russians who hold Lithuanian residency. The Baltic nation halted issuing new visas to Russians and Belarusians. The ban will remain in place until 2024. The Prime Minister of the Central American nation of Belize met Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen. He underlined Belize's support for Taiwan. Referring to China, Taiwan's president spoke of expansionist threats from authoritarian regimes. Tsai is on a visit to the two Central American nations of Guatemala and Belize after a former ally Honduras established diplomatic ties with China. China has warned U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy against meeting Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen. China said, and I quote, "Don't repeat disastrous past mistakes. It would not help regional peace and stability." McCarthy is set to host Tsai in California this week. The U.S. House Speaker is the third most senior position in the U.S. government after President and Vice President. China has said that America's decision to strengthen its military deployment in the Philippines would only lead to more tensions in the region. The U.S. will have access to 4 additional bases in the Philippines. This is part of a defense agreement to expand military cooperation. The announcement came at a time when China is increasing its assertiveness in the South China Sea. The navies of South Korea, the US and Japan held anti-submarine exercises. The drills have been conducted so that the countries are better prepared for North Korea's evolving nuclear and missile capabilities. The trilateral drills were conducted in international waters off South Korea's southern island of Jeju. Last week, North Korea vowed to produce more weapons-grade nuclear material to expand its arsenal. Former US President Donald Trump took to his social media website Truth Social to attack Manhattan's district attorney. He said, and I quote, "DA Bragg just illegally leaked the 33 points of indictment. No crime by Trump. What a mess. Bragg should resign now." Trump is the first former US president to ever face criminal charges. He has been indicted in the case of hush money payments to an adult film actress ahead of the 2016 US presidential election. Students in the U.S. state of Tennessee marched towards the Tennessee State Capitol building. They demanded an end to gun violence and called for stronger gun control laws. This comes after a school shooting in the city of Nashville last week. 6 people, including 3 children and 3 adults, were killed in the shooting. Investigators found that the shooter had bought 7 guns legally. Syria's official news agency showed the country's air defenses intercepting Israeli missile strikes. The missiles reportedly targeted some areas in the vicinity of Damascus. This is the fourth such attack in less than a week. 2 Syrian civilians have been killed in the incidents. A massive fire broke out in a clothing market in Bangladesh's capital, Dhaka. Hundreds of firefighters have been deployed to battle the blaze. An Air Force helicopter has also been deployed to help douse the fire. No casualties have been reported. An anti-terrorism court has extended former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan's interim bail until April 13th. This is in 3 cases related to clashes that took place between Khan's supporters and the police. The clashes took place outside his residence in Lahore last month. The cases were registered against Khan and his party supporters for allegedly attacking police officials. Malaysia's parliament has removed the country's mandatory death penalty for 11 serious crimes. This includes murder and terrorism. Now, judges will use their discretion to impose capital punishment in exceptional cases. With this move, Malaysia has spared more than 1,000 prisoners from the death penalty. A high-speed passenger train crashed into heavy construction equipment and derailed. This is in The Hague in the Netherlands. At least 1 person has been killed and around 30 have been injured. The double-decker train was traveling between Amsterdam and The Hague with around 60 people on board. Several ambulances have been deployed as a part of the rescue operation. The United Nations will begin accepting applications on deep-sea mining. Companies will be allowed to dig the seabed up to 6.5 kilometers deep. This will be done to extract minerals including cobalt, copper and nickel. The decision comes after weeks of debate. Deep-sea mining is a controversial practice. Some nations, including Chile, Fiji and France, have called for the temporary prohibition of this practice, citing environmental concerns. At least 20 people have been killed in a landslide in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The casualties include 13 children and 7 women. Several people have gone missing. 1 person is under medical care. A 6.9 magnitude earthquake has struck the eastern coast of Russia. The epicenter of the earthquake was almost 100 kilometers away in the waters of the Avacha Bay. This is the second earthquake to hit this region within a month. There are no reports of a tsunami, casualties or structural damage. The snow level in the US state of California has increased to 237% of the normal amount. This comes after the state experienced 3 years of drought. California relies on the store of mountain snow to provide water during the dry spring and warm summer. Flooding remains a threat after the snow melts. Collapsed Swiss bank Credit Suisse is conducting its final annual general meeting. Chairman Alex Lehman has apologized for the failure of the firm. The AGM marks an end to 167 years of the bank. Protesters have gathered outside the meeting venue. Some protesters have erected a figure of a capsized boat depicting the bank's demise. Credit Suisse was taken over by UBS earlier last month. Rocket maker Virgin Orbit has filed for bankruptcy. The Branson-owned company said that it has failed to secure long-term funding. The company had earlier expressed doubts over continuing its operations. It had said that the company could operate only for the next 12 months. Last week, it laid off roughly 85% of its staff and ceased operations. According to media reports, retail giant Walmart is set to cut more than 2,000 jobs. The positions will be eliminated from 5 US e-commerce warehouses. These will include warehouses in Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida, and New Jersey. It's also planning additional reductions in California. This comes after the company laid off hundreds of workers just last month. A Bank of Canada survey shows economic expectations improving among Canadian firms. It says about half of all Canadian businesses see a mild recession next year. Most firms also expect inflation to stay above 2%. The outlook is fairly better than a previous survey. The previous survey showed firms fearing a tough recession. Inflation was expected to remain above 3%. Bank of America's investment management unit has agreed to pay over $9 million in fines. The U.S. market watchdog charged the bank over failure to disclose millions of dollars in fees to clients. The company allegedly did not disclose foreign exchange fees that it had unlawfully charged its clients. French cosmetics group L'Oréal has struck a deal to buy Australia's Aesop. The deal will be valued at about $2.5 billion. Aesop is a luxury cosmetics and skincare brand. The deal will help L'Oréal expand its presence in the luxury cosmetics market. The deal also marks L'Oréal's largest ever brand acquisition. The Australian government will remove TikTok from all its devices. The government said that its actions stem from security concerns related to the app. Australia has become the latest country to initiate actions against TikTok. Countries like the US, UK and Canada have already banned the app from government devices. Twitter owner Elon Musk has changed the social media platform's iconic logo. He has changed the blue bird logo to mimic the Doge meme, which is also the logo of the popular cryptocurrency Dogecoin. This appears to be a late April Fool's Day prank by the billionaire owner. There is no clarity if the change is temporary and when it will go, or whether it's here to stay. The Twitter logo change has sent the price of Dogecoin skyrocketing by more than 30%. US-based electric vehicle firm Rivian Automotive has maintained its annual production forecast. Rivian reiterated its annual production target of 50,000 vehicles. The EV startup is scrambling to lift up its output. The EV market faces headwinds from an uncertain economy. The sector also faces pressure from a price war started by Tesla. The UK's Virgin Media company suffered widespread outages. There were more than 28,000 reports of a disruption of services. Many users reported their internet was not working in the early hours of Tuesday. The telecom firm has recognized the issue affecting its broadband services. It's currently working on resolving the issue. Moving on to sports, in cricket, Tom Latham will be leading the New Zealand side for a one-day international series against Pakistan. Latham would be captaining the Kiwis in the absence of Kane Williamson. Williamson injured his knee in the ongoing Indian Premier League tournament. Star Kiwi players Tim Southee, Lockie Ferguson, Glenn Phillips and Mitchell Stantner will be missing the tournament due to their IPL commitments. In football, Michael Keane's 90th minute goal helped Everton register a draw against Tottenham. Tottenham were leading 1-0 as Harry Kane scored his team's first goal in the 66th minute. Everton climbed 3 places in the points table up to 15th position, while Tottenham climbed to the 4th position in the points table. In basketball, Connecticut Huskies defeated San Diego Aztecs to win their 5th NCAA title. The National Collegiate Athletic Association, or the NCAA, is a 117-year-old organization that regulates student athletics across the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. The Huskies became the 5th team to win all 6 NCAA tournament games by double digits. Novak Djokovic has regained his #1 spot at the ATP World Tennis Rankings. He took the #1 spot from Carlos Alcaraz. Djokovic now has a 380-point lead over Alcaraz, who is once again in second place. In golf, Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy flew the PGA Tour flag at the Augusta National Golf Club in Washington. Woods and McIlroy are 2 of golf's biggest names. There's an added intrigue ahead of this year's Masters, as it will be the first since the launch of the controversial LIV golf circuit last June. In gymnastics, Olympic champion Sunisa Lee said her kidney issue could cut her college career short. However, she said she still has her eyes set on the Paris Games next year. Lee missed the end of the regular season, the Southeastern Conference Championships and the NCAA owing to her kidney issue. In snooker, 16-year-old Stan Moody from Yorkshire won the first round of the World Snooker Championship. It's the first of 4 wins needed to reach the World Championship. He beat Estonia's Andres Petrov 10-7 in Sheffield. Moody won the World Junior Championship earlier this year. Moving on to weightlifting. National Anti-Doping Agency has put a 4-year ban on Indian weightlifter Sanjita Chanu for failing a dope test. Chanu is a 2-time Commonwealth Games champion. As a result of the failed dope test, Chanu will be stripped of her National Games silver medal. In boxing, former British world champion and Olympic silver medalist Amir Khan has been banned from all sports after failing a dope test. He tested positive for ostarine in 2022. This is a banned performance-enhancing drug. Khan tested positive after his loss to Kell Brook in Manchester in February 2022. In badminton, Sania Nehwal and B. Sai Praneeth will lead the Indian attack in the Orléans Masters in France. The Orléans Masters is a Super 300 level badminton tournament. With PV Sindhu and top doubles pair Ranki Reddy Shetty pulling out, no Indian players are entering the event as seeded. Actor Leonardo DiCaprio has testified in the trial of rapper Pras Michel. The rapper is accused of taking money from Malaysian billionaire Joe Low. DiCaprio was asked to testify about his links to Low. He testified that he's known Low since 2010 and often partied with him. DiCaprio's film The Wolf of Wall Street was partially funded by a firm linked to the Malaysian billionaire. A television series on the Harry Potter books is underway. Author J.K. Rowling is in talks to produce the series. Each of the 7 books will be developed as one season. The series would be produced by Warner Brothers Television. DC Entertainment has released the trailer for Blue Beetle. This makes it DC's first Latino superhero film. Actor Jolo Mariduena plays the titular character. The hero gains superpowers after an encounter with an alien scarab. The film will be released in early August. Director Ridley Scott's film Napoleon will be released on Thanksgiving this year. The historical epic will have a worldwide release on the 22nd of November. The film stars Joaquin Phoenix as the titular character. The film shows the French emperor's origins and rise to power. A new Game of Thrones prequel about Aegon's conquest is in the works. The prequel is set 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones. It will show Aegon I Targaryen's conquest of Westeros. Talks of a feature film on the same are also on. K-pop singer Jimin tops the US Billboard chart. His song Like Crazy lands the #1 spot on the Billboard's Hot 100. With this, Jimin also becomes the first solo South Korean artist to reach the #1 spot. Like Crazy is Jimin's song from his debut album Face. K-pop singer Suga is about to drop his debut solo album D-Day. The album will be the final in his mixtape trilogy. Suga will release a song from the album on the 7th of April. The full album will be released on the 21st of April. Suga is also planning his first ever solo world tour in this month. Jinx Monsoon, the winner of reality show Drag Race, has joined the cast of Doctor Who. As per reports, the actor is in a major role in the upcoming season of the BBC series. About her role, Jinx joked that she hopes there's room in the TARDIS for her luggage. Doctor Who will return in November 2023. The Actors Equity Association has issued a strike threat against the Broadway League. The union has been bargaining with the league for a new touring contract. The Union for Actors and Stage Managers demands higher wages. Actors Equity President Kate Schindel said that they want to continue working. Italian drama series Doc Nelly Tumani is set for an American adaptation. The original series focuses on a male doctor with amnesia. In the American version, a female doctor will play the lead. The show is scheduled for the 2023-24 season.